Barrhead-Morinville-Westlock.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When it comes to actual policy measures of this government, in the past they have shown little regard for the impacts on communities. Now they have put together a draft caribou protection plan without meaningful consultation to truly understand the impacts any plan would have on working families and industry. To the Minister of Environment and Parks, can you give working families the assurance that your caribou protection plan won't put thousands out of work?
The Honourable Minister of Environment and Parks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Of course, we have held numerous stakeholder meetings. They have been attended by hundreds of Albertans who are concerned about caribou range plans, and that's why we've listened, Mr. Speaker. That's the whole point of putting out a draft plan. Is to hear from people, and we have heard from people in Northern Alberta, and that is why we are suspending some aspects of caribou range planning and suspending consideration of the conservation lands, Mr. Speaker. But I also want to say very clearly that we are redoubling our efforts to work with industry to develop solutions. We'll be having meetings with industry representatives as we go forward, but there is no question that we need to make sure that we guard against the imposition of a federal order.
Minister for supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that this minister committed to a balanced approach, protecting both caribou and jobs, and coming now a little late with a new plan, given she has no clear understanding of the wide-ranging impacts, including job losses, that would come from restricting a significant portion of the region land, because she has not completed the socio-economic impact study previously. Will the minister commit today to providing her department the resources it needs to complete the proper consultation before they finalize their caribou protection plans?
Honourable Minister.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And in fact, I have written to the federal government this morning to ask for their assistance with the socioeconomic analysis, and we will be suspending some aspects of caribou range planning pending the outcome of that analysis, Mr. Speaker. Over the last 2 years, we have gained a better, more science-based understanding of the health of the herds and the measures that need to be taken to fulfill the very stringent requirements of the Species at Risk Act. It is unfortunate that we were left with such an inflexible legacy by the Harper government, Mr. Speaker, and the member for Calgary-Lougheed, who did nothing to stand up for Alberta when he had the chance.
Second supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am looking forward to what aspects of the plan will be changed. But, Mr. Speaker, to the same minister, will the government adjust their caribou protection plans if it is found that working families will be negatively impacted by these plans in any way?
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we are recovering from the largest economic downturn in the history of the province. We've made it clear to the federal government that now is not the time to impede that recovery. We will conduct those socioeconomic impact analyses on the federal requirements. We are also asking the federal government to make a substantial investment in terms of what will be required in order to reach that 65% habitat requirement, Mr. Speaker, over a period of decades. I really want to acknowledge the work that the honourable member from Peace River has done on this file and her efforts to keep it at the forefront.